Well, let's do a reconstitution. Let's keep it basic. If you go into the health field, you can take those health classes. The nursing or whatever it may be, they'll get more in depth. But we're just going to keep this basic. So I wanted to break this down and use some physical stuff so you can understand what I'm talking about. When we solve for this here, we're going to solve for what is the solution. We're going to solve for the solute and the solvent on both of these problems up here. So what is the solution? The solution is the total after we already mixed our flavoring with our water. Our solute is the flavoring. And the solvent is the water. So when we mix these two together, we got a solution, right? Solvent dissolves it. The solute flavors it. The strength part here tells me how strong do I want it. Do I want to be able to taste this cherry pomegranate so much more than I do the water? That's the strength. If I want to taste more water with a hint of this, then there would be less strength that I'd be pouring into it. The package says that for 2 quarts, we'd use 1 package. So that means I would use 4 of these bottles. But what if I just wanted it so strong? Then I would add more of this than what it's calling for. So that's reconstitution. It's taking something that's in a powdered form and dissolving it into a liquid, and we come out with a solution. So let's solve this one. I have 2 problems on the board. I have the same scenario, 2 problems. And whenever we're solving these particular problems, it's very important that we convert this to milliliters. Get it converted. Now, you can convert at the end, you can convert at the beginning or in the middle, but it's always easier to convert at the beginning. So that way, throughout this process, all your answers are with the correct unit and you won't lose as much points. So, if I'm going to convert this to milliliters, I know that for every 1 ounce, it's 30 milliliters. I'll put over 1. Well, 7 times 30 is 210. And my unit is milliliters. So we did great. So now I want to know what is my solution. Well, let's read it. We're going to do 2 problems here. Problem 1 says every 6 hours. Well, that means we're going to do more than 1 feeding. How many 6-hour settings are in a day? There's 4 settings in a day, right? Because that's the same as saying 24 hours divided by 6 hours. That's going to give me 4. 4 settings, 4 doses. So in this case here, we're going to call it 4 feedings. So I'm going to take, for this solution part, and I'm going to take that 210 milliliters, and I am going to multiply it by the 4 feedings. And that will give me 840 milliliters. So the total solution for number 1 is 840 milliliters. Well, how much solute is it? Well, the solute depends on how much strength you want in it. How strong do you want that drink? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our total and our strength. So we have 3/4 times that 840 milliliters. Guys, if you want to turn 3/4 into a decimal and multiply, you can. That's fine. You're going to come out with the same answer. If not, you may want to put a 1 underneath the 840 and say 3 times 840 gives you a number, then divide it by 4. And we come out with 630 milliliters. Okay? So that's how much of that solute we need to add. The solvent, how much water? Well, that is taking our solution, which is 840 milliliters, subtract our solute, and this is going to tell me how much water we're going to add to it, and that will yield 210 milliliters. So my total for this here solution is 840. My strength of the solution I'm adding is going to be 630, and the water I'm going to add to it, which is my solvent, is 210 milliliters. So this would be a really, really strong or thick drink. So I'm going to split this in half, and let's solve for number 2. Number 2 says over a period of 6 hours, right? It didn't say every 6 hours. It said over a period. So in this case here, this one came out pretty easy. My solution is the 210 milliliters. Now we need to figure out my solute. Well, my solute is the strength times my solution. So 3 times 210, then divide it by 4 gives me 157.5 milliliters. Now let's find out how much water, which is my solvent, I'm going to add. I'm going to take the 210 milliliters, subtract the 157.5 milliliters, and that is going to give me 52.5 milliliters. So my solvent is 52.5 milliliters. And in this case here, if you notice that strength is 3/4, that is a pretty strong strength. If it was 1/3 or if it's smaller than that, then that means these numbers would flip and you would have more water than you would solute. So that is reconstitution and formula feeding.